Hi, I'm Trond Hasserli, aka Resus Minus in the Autodesk community. I am the top solution provider by far of all time for AutoCAD Electrical. So you might say that I'm familiar with this product. So why have I stopped believing in AutoCAD Electrical? I've been working with the product from a support and training perspective at various Autodesk resellers since that first release of AutoCAD Electrical 2004 back in 2003. And I've also been working with other programs for drawing electrical schematics, also running on top of AutoCAD since 1994. And over those years, I've seen nice features and updates being added to AutoCAD Electrical. But then, about 5 to 6 years ago, something happened. It seemed to be a lack of focus from Autodesk side when it comes to AutoCAD Electrical. And I've been helping out in the Autodesk community forums for more than 20 years. And over time, you notice that the same question comes up again and again, and nothing is done about it. Like this thread from December of 2017. So let's look at this issue with the files provided. And yes, I am running the latest and greatest AutoCAD Electrical 2024. So we want to edit the wires that connect to the terminal to decide what side of the terminal the wires should connect to, and then have those wire numbers displayed in the annotation for this footprint. You can see we have wire bottom 1 and 2 and wire top, and we want them in the correct location. Well, and in theory, the terminal strip editor should just be perfect for this. So we would go into the terminal strip. We would go and move things a little bit around here. So I will move this one up, and then I will move this one over to this side here, and maybe even move it up like this. And now I have the bottom wires on the bottom and the top wire at the top. And if I go to the preview here, you can see, aha, it is correct at the moment. I will say I want to rebuild this footprint, and I will do OK. And everything just looks perfect, right? Until you go in to the terminal strip editor again, and then you can see it's back to what it was. I have save destination checked, and you can imagine this in a terminal strip with hundreds of terminals, and you have to do all these edits again and again and again. So we try to help out as best we can in the forums, because this is users helping users, and Autodesk is normally not roaming these forums, but if we ask for them, and they will arrive, and sometimes they even just roam without us asking. So this was then in December of 2017, and if we just scroll down, we cannot find any solution. And then in August of 2018, that's 6 months later, Vinod from Autodesk comes here and say, oh, I'm working with the product developers on this issue. I will provide an update shortly. And then we have 2019 coming here. And we have people asking, well, is this fixed? Is this known since 2015? And it's frustrating. It seems there's no drive to fix bugs in electrical. And then in 2021, the original poster comes back here. It's been some time. How is it going? Again, some test files to help the development team. And then a little bit later, nothing happens. And I try to tag someone from Autodesk here. And we get this message then in 2021 that they can reproduce it. Well, they could that in 2019 as well. They logged the issue in the defect tracking system. And if I had $1 for every time they logged a bug. But a couple of years goes by again. We're now in 2023, and the original poster just says here it's not fixed. It's probably just going to be some more years here. And then we have one of these community managers that Autodesk put up here, and they are now gone. And we pretend to care community managers that I have here. And we are then coming to May of 2023. And Vinod here again writes, I'm already working with development to prepare an update for this thread. And 5 years earlier, he said exactly the same thing. So this is basically one of these things that I've just given up. The AutoCAD Electrical Ideas Forum is a good resource for Autodesk to see what the users want. This is a forum where AutoCAD Electrical users can suggest new features and also what they need to change or improve in existing features. And this forum has been open since 2014. And at the time of talking here, there are 932 suggestions for improvements and new features. And there are, of course, some duplicates here. But out of these 932 suggestions, a whopping 16 has been implemented. Well, there are some duplicates, so if you look into it, it's actually 12 out of these that are implemented over 9 years. The rest is gathering support or future consideration, so there's quite a list of things that Autodesk could just look into to make a better product. The last releases with any useful updates were releases 2016 and 2017, in my opinion. So let's have a look at the updates since release 2017 and forward to see what we have got. So what's new? AutoCAD Electrical 2017. We finally have SQL Server support for catalog data. And again, it's just a half-ass implementation. So it's only catalog data and the footprint lookup database that are SQL. The other ones are like the Project Scratch database, PLC database, electrical standards database, schematic lookup database, language database for translation, pick lists for this and that. They are still Microsoft Access only. And most AutoCAD Electrical users have probably experienced all the problems after Windows update with the Microsoft Access engine. And also, if you were using Autodesk Vault and you started using the SQL Server, well, for some reason, it just wouldn't work with the Vault item master database. It's just not able to extract data from the SQL Server. It needs an Access database. And then we have the secondary database down here. It's gone if you use SQL. And you probably are familiar with this bloated database that comes with AutoCAD Electrical. We have like 270,000 motor starters in this database. So a really nice feature was this secondary database. So you can put all this junk in the secondary database and you could keep the primary database for the data that you use most of the time. But that's also gone with the SQL Server. If you had been smart and had added new tables, like custom family tables and so on into the database, well, the migration tool that comes also with 2017 to migrate data from Access to SQL, it would just fail. And also one of the nicer features is that in MDB file or the Access file, you are able to rename columns. So for example, instead of user 1 in the motor starter table, you want user 1 to be used for like an internal part number. You can just rename that column. And that will, of course, also work with the Microsoft Access database. So if I go here and I search for something, and I say I want to add some columns, you can see that the internal part number, it's reflected, that change in the user interface. But that's also gone with the SQL Server. And if you try to migrate the database with custom headers for your columns here, well, the migration tool would also just fail. And another new features in 2017 was the ability to add parts that only exist in Inventor to your electrical bill of materials. Really nice feature. If I go into my project here, and I say that I want to create a report and I want to build a material and I want to include Inventor parts, and I do OK like this, it will extract the data both from my electrical project and what is coming from the mechatronic link to Inventor. So somewhere down in this list, I should find this motor starter that only exists in the Inventor model, at this time the M001. So that's quite nice. But if you know about this mechatronic link, the electromechanical link that you can have in electrical between AutoCAD Electrical and Inventor, you know that, well, you can also do harnesses in Inventor. You can do plugs and draw harnesses. For some reason, this isn't implemented. You cannot extract connections into your reports in the cable or in the wire from to or the cable from to. In my opinion, there should be a checkbox here to extract connections also from Inventor. But, well, that's me. And then we have the ignore errors in electrical audit. And this is one of the features that has been implemented that comes from the ideas forums. And it's quite a nice one. So if I do electrical audit in my projects, I go to the details and have a look. You can see there's currently no errors for the wires that have no connections. This is because I have hidden those errors and because I have then marked them as well. Just ignore this one here. And I can also do that same here. Just select some errors, say mark as ignored, hide them, and they are out of view, out of mind. Really nice features because, well, a lot of the errors you're seeing here are actually not errors. So after you check them, it's really nice that you can at least ignore them and have them go away. So we also have some improvements to the location tab. We can now find a part from the Inventor model directly to something drawn in the schematics. We can do it in the tree here instead of just browse to the drawing and select it in the schematics. But first, let's just have a look at what the location view is. So it's part of the electromechanical workflow. So you will add this database that lies between AutoCAD Electrical and the Inventor. And for some reason, they have chosen a third format. So we have SQL, we have Microsoft Access, and now we have SQLite here as well. And then we have the location view over here, and you can see now all the parts in our project. You can do filter, you can do details, or you can just at least look at the details. You cannot edit anything. So if I would want to change the descriptions for this lamp, I'm not able to. I have to go to the signal or go to the signal lamp and do it in the schematics. But I can export data. That's at least something. And you can see here that some parts are only part of the Inventor, and this part is only part of the schematics. It's not in Inventor. These are, well, they have some differences, but they are linked between the electrical schematics and the Inventor model. So now, as I have this one in Inventor, I want to assign this one to this one. It's actually located down here. Before, I needed to go right click and say I want to assign to existing in drawing and select it in the drawing. But as you know, the schematics can be several pages. So instead of just browsing to the correct drawing, you can now just select it directly from the tree, like this one here. And now they are matched up here. I will just save my drawing and I will synchronize this SQLite database. Then I can go into Inventor. Let's see, it's not synchronized here yet. I need to again synchronize. And now this one is M416 and it's driven by AutoCAD Electrical. We also have the options now in the location view here to build plugs. So if you have drawn or inserted a plug in the inventor model, you can just right click it here and say, I want to draw the schematics, and it will be generated using the normal insert plug function of AutoCAD Electrical. And again, you see it knows about the connection, so why wouldn't it show that in the report if you wanted that? And then for 2017, we also got resequence item numbers. Well, I would say that's an enhancement of the old functionality. It works quite well. It works faster. And manufacturers are always sorted across the project, not per drawing, as you could, well, you could configure this manually in the previous version. If you prefer the previous version, you can, of course, just set this variable, use the old functionalities. That's quite nice as well. And it would just go something like that. You go in here and you will say, I want to process things like that. You can move the order of the components that you want them to be numbered. And you can just do OK. And it will just go in here and update all the item numbers like this. And we also had this balloon update. So if you change the format for the balloon, it will update all the balloons in the active drawing, that is. So I go to configuration and let's do a polygon instead for this one here. I say I want to apply this to all balloons in the active drawing. I will do OK, and it will change them like this. Of course, I need to do the size correctly as well. And OK, something like this, I guess. But always, it's just in the active drawings. I would need to go to the other drawings as well and do the configuration, do the setup, polygon, and have to do this then for all of them. Let's do 0.6 in this case. Ooh. And other than that, well, we have some bug fixes, I would call it. So it will just remember settings and so on and so on. It's just stuff that is annoying that has been fixed. And that would conclude what's new in AutoCAD Electrical 2017. And then we have arrived at what's new in AutoCAD Electrical 2018. And we have support for high resolution monitors. Yay. And well, not all of the dialogues, but some of the dialogues are now and do now scale correctly. And if you were going for SQL Server support, you can now migrate your user-defined tables. But if you have renamed the columns like I showed you for 2017, it will crash again. And then we have the symbol library that has been updated. Panel layout now supports long strings, and these are basically bug fixes again. Bug fixes, bug fixes, bug fixes. And that concludes AutoCAD Electrical 2018. And now we have what's new in AutoCAD Electrical 2019. And we have refreshed icons, yay! So we have like almost no bugs or anything that like we want new functionality or something. So let's focus on the icons. So according to Autodesk, these are the new flat look buttons. They look so much better than the old ones, like this one here. This is the old look. And this is the new look. And more of the dialogues in AutoCAD Electrical now supports high resolution monitor. Woohoo! And we have the DWG compare feature, but this is not an AutoCAD Electrical feature, this is an AutoCAD feature. Same for SDI here. And then we have some bug fixes again. Catalog browser for the footprints and some bug fixes for the report here. And that's it for AutoCAD Electrical 2019. We have come to the What's New in AutoCAD Electrical 2020 toolset. And we have more new icons. Woohoo! And we have more dialogues that support high-resolution monitors. Well, that's 3 releases with more support for high-resolution monitors. Yay! And we have the new dark theme for AutoCAD Electrical, or AutoCAD. And it's so nice, right? So it's not like, well, we have other issues with the software. Let's focus on the user interface. And then again, we have some bug fixes with the hyperlinks in the PDF, some performance issues here, and the PLC stuff, and so on. And that concludes AutoCAD Electrical 2020. And then we have What's New AutoCAD Electrical 2021. And we finally have global search in the catalog. What they don't say that loud is that, well, we had that previously, but they removed it with release 2015. But we got it now, and again, it's just a half-ass implementation. So let's just have a look with the catalog browser. If I search here for coil 24 volts DC, it will, of course, find some, well, let's just see if we can spell it correctly. It will find some motor starters with coil 24 volt DC somewhere in the text like this. But if I search for the same with the global search through all the families, all the tables, it will find a whopping, well, no results. Why? Well, for some reason, if I search for coil in the global search, it will find, of course, something. But the global search will only search the catalog, manufacturer, description, and type columns. It will not search any other columns, so it will not find what I was looking for. Again, half-ass implementation of the global search as well. So basically, you need to know where to find what you're looking for to use global search. It kind of takes away the reason why you would want that function. And let's just see here, after the global search, they have added more data. Woohoo! And yeah, well, let's just be glad we get something from Autodesk here. And then we have, oh, icon optimization. So we have nicer icons in the icon menu here. That's what we all wanted, yeah. And then again, other enhancement or bug fixes, blah, 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 blah. And that concludes What's New AutoCAD Electrical 2021. So what's new AutoCAD Electrical 2022? At this time, Autodesk just keeps putting in basic AutoCAD stuff as new features of AutoCAD Electrical. But we have now finally SQL catalog support for Autodesk Vault. It's only 5 years since it was implemented in AutoCAD Electrical, but yeah, let's be happy that we got it. And then we have trace count, floating windows here. These are all AutoCAD functionality. And many of them, like the Autodesk Docs have no idea what an AutoCAD Electrical project is. So you can send the DWGs to the cloud, but the project file, the VWDP file and so on, it wouldn't know what to do with that. And you would need to use, instead of the project browser, you need to use the sheet set manager to do this. And then we have some More manufacturer contact, yay. We have some bug fixes here as well. And that concludes AutoCAD Electrical 2022. Then we have what's new in AutoCAD Electrical 2023, and we have signal arrows update finally. So if you go to the schematics and you change the, let's just see if we can find some arrows over here, for example, and you change the name or the code for these, it will now ask you. So L1X, I will do OK. It will now ask you want to change the name of all the others in this network as well. And I'll say OK. And it now does this for me. Finally. And this is really nice improvement over, well, all the other years, all the other 20 releases that you have not had this functionality. So you would just break your schematics doing this. And then we have the copy project function. So, well, if you want to copy a project, you can now use this new fast copy functionality. It copies the project really fast, but it just copies everything. If you want to use the old functionality that most people do, you need to check this on use selected project as template project. And well, it should just say instead, use the old version of the copy project function. And then you can, as you always have done, you can check what supporting files for the project you want to copy to the new one. You can rename the files like you're used to. This new version, it's half-ass implementation again. It just, well, it's not useful. Well, one of the good things about it is that previously, if you had a drawing open in a project that you wanted to copy, you just have to stop the copy process, go and close all those drawings, and start the copy command again. And they have finally fixed this now in the year 2022 for AutoCAD Electrical 2023. And if you were using Vaults, and you would be using assembly codes in your AutoCAD Electrical project, until now, Autodesk Vault has not understood assembly codes at all. But from this release, finally, it will work. And then we have more AutoCAD Electrical functions again, presented as news with AutoCAD Electrical 2023. But stuff like the cut base here, it just won't work with AutoCAD Electrical. You need to use AutoCAD Electrical specific functions to do a cut and paste. And then we have quality improvements or bug fixes. And that's AutoCAD Electrical 2023. So then for 2024, I have already created a video with the new functionalities of 2024, and I'll find a link to that one in the description. I won't cover that here. So this is the reason that I just stopped believing that AutoCAD Electrical has any future. By helping in the community forums for more than 15 years, you see all the shortcomings of the product and all the ideas that you used to supply. It just ignored by Autodesk. We just give up. I get this question a lot. So if you're so annoyed, why do you keep helping in the forums? Well, it's primarily not the users of AutoCAD Electrical that decide what software they should be using. So I will at least help them make their work life with AutoCAD Electrical as easy as possible by sharing my knowledge from 20 years. And of course, it's just a big part of me that I just want to help people. So if someone here asks me, or if I see someone that in the forums that asks, yeah, I'm going to implement AutoCAD Electrical now, I just wouldn't recommend using AutoCAD Electrical. I just can't. based on what you've seen so far. That is the lack of focus from Autodesk on this project. And I also get asked quite a lot, so why do you bash Autodesk so much about it? Why are you shaming Autodesk? But I'm not trying to shame them, but I want to hold them accountable. I believe that when you pay a company to use their software because you're not owning it, you're renting the software, you would expect that they listen to you and your needs and use some of that money to fix the problems and implement new functionality. But I'm not seeing that from Autodesk sides. Well, thank you for following my rant here, and I'll see you all in the next video.